What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for being here. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. We are sitting at about $338, and just like Bitcoin, we had an attempt to break out of this consolidation range, to break out and back into this area that we found support before, get above that support before here as well. And we just couldn't do it, unfortunately. We rejected a little bit, not too much. You know, Bitcoin's chart definitely does look worse. We're going to go over the BCH BTC chart as well, see if we can draw some lines together. I want to look at the 4-hour. 4-hour time frame actually does encourage me a little bit to think that we could move a little bit higher, but it wouldn't be crazy to reject and move down from here either. You know, getting above the 60 and then getting back below it that quickly, that's not normally a good look, to be completely fair. And we did just reject it. At least we will have rejected it once we close this 4-hour candle in the next 40 minutes. What we've done so far, closing here, right, multiple times, finding resistance here multiple times, is an area that we had support before. That's not a good look, right? Checking back at previous areas of support and confirming it as resistance is not a good look. If we look at this high to a low on a relative 4-hour basis, Bitcoin Cash does like to find resistance in this in-between zone between its 0.5 and the 618. If not, it does like to go all the way to its 6.9, but just couldn't quite get there. Maybe it does. Don't get too excited if we move up to 365. We could stop there and then turn around. We do have our 4-hour 123 moving average right there, that green line. Rejecting that also would not be good, but it doesn't seem to be something we respect too much on the 4-hour, to be completely fair. So I don't know. We might fall just shy of it. We might go a little bit past it. Don't get too excited if we break 365 is all I'm trying to say, or if we reach up for 365. Maybe do get excited if we break 365 actually, but I really myself, I wouldn't be getting excited until we broke $410. That's my personal opinion. Until we break above like the high of this little consolidation phase here and get back into the range that we had up here, that would actually start to get me very excited that this is the low. I do think we're going to go lower, you guys. I think 270, or really, it's been a little bit more refined. I would say 260 to 280 is the range that I'd be looking for. If we take this relative low here to the relative high that we had yesterday, 270 there at your 1272, 255, that's right around 260 at your 1618. I don't think we have to reach the 1618. A lot of cryptos have been doing this thing where they reach just below their 1414, and that'd be right at around 260. So we could see something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that exact thing actually take place over the coming days, coming weeks. The daily RSI looks terrible. It looks like ass, and not a good ass, man. This is a bad. I was about to say a bad ass, but I think that's a good thing. This is a flat ass. Some people like that though, but I don't think I can speak for all the Dragon Riders. I don't think that's what we're looking for. Somewhat of a downtrend, right? These two peaks definitely are outliers, but it does line up pretty well in this kind of case scenario. I do think that we are going to reach one more time down into this oversold zone. Hopefully that's the last time. Hopefully we can drive another like set of bullish divergence here, having 1-2 drives of bullish divergence. That'd be really nice to see. You know, with that in mind, from a low to high, if we were to move down here, that bullish divergence would be good for a move all the way back up to about $365, which a move like that would, to me, convince me that that is the relative low that we had, right? Not only would it be on this area in the fibs, that would make sense, but if we put let's just put a vertical or a horizontal line, not a vertical line. We're going to put a horizontal line down there at about 262. We look at this on the daily basis, right? An area that you found support, area that you found resistance time and time again, resistance, support back here. It kind of makes sense that we'd go down there. And again, we don't have to go to 260. We could find support at 280, but just based off this fib alone, I think 270 to 260 is probably the more likely area that we would go to. I want to look at the BCH BTC chart just to see if we can establish that Bitcoin Cash is probably going to move in unison with BTC here, BCH BTC. Maybe we can throw on the correlation coefficient as well. I want to do this real quick. Let's see. There we go. Boom. All right. Yeah. Getting all those noises from the computer. Okay, BCH, BTC, nice. We do have bullish divergence on the daily, but the daily RSI looks pretty bad, man. We're definitely in a established uptrend. We're at the point of resistance here. Even if we do move up, we could move down afterwards. That would just be another lower high in this like slew of lower highs that we've maintained since April. It would make sense if this went down as well. And that makes sense. If Bitcoin Cash is going to go down, it's probably going to drop more than BTC does. I actually want to go back real quick. We'll come back to this chart, but I want to look. Should have done this before we moved on. What that drop would be from the current price. Like down to 260. 22.5%. I'm thinking Bitcoin's going to move down another 14 to 18%. So 22.5% is a little bit more than that, right? BCH, BTC. It's like, was it 22.5? I'm sorry. Yeah, 22.5. If it's going to move down 14 to 18, let's just put it in the middle. Let's say 16%. If Bitcoin Cash moves down 22, that's another 6% down. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't go lower. Maybe we hold a higher low. That'd be nice to see. If we do hold a higher low, I wouldn't be surprised if we close below this daily low. But holding a higher low would be nice. Let's see if that actually lines up with anything here from a low to a high. Because it's been a second since I've looked at this. I try to look at this at least once a week, right? I don't know, man. The way that it looks, it would kind of make me think we'd go down to the 886, but seeing that kind of drop, that's a bit extreme, man. Like if Bitcoin drops 14% at the minimum, Bitcoin Cash drops 13%, that would mean that Bitcoin Cash drops a total of like 27%, 28%, somewhere in that range, right? And that would put it well below the areas that I'm thinking. And that I don't think that would break the chart. I just don't think that would look good. A 28% drop on BCH. Let's just, instead of flipping back and forth, let's just use another chart here. 28% drop on BCH would put us all the way down to like 240. And from a relative low to a relative high, that's outside. I mean, that's outside of the range of normality for Bitcoin Cash. It normally does find support, if not in this area that it's in now, at the 6.9 specifically. So I don't know if that actually happens personally. Maybe we have found our low. The more that I'm looking at conclusions here, maybe we have found our low versus Bitcoin, not versus USD, but versus Bitcoin. Maybe that is our low. Daily RSI doesn't look the best, but it does have the potential to be productive. It doesn't mean that you can't go down for the current time frame, the more immediate time frame. The 4-hour RSI actually does look a little bit productive, huh? The 4-hour does look a little bit good, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Interesting. It's not normal. The only thing that I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around is it's not normal. And it's not that it doesn't happen, it's just not the normality for Bitcoin Cash to gain value versus BTC while BTC is dropping. Normally, Bitcoin Cash loses value as Bitcoin's dropping, right? But this overall, it does look like a bullish ascending triangle. It does. It's got that look to it. The 4-hour RSI looks fine. Everything that I've gone over in the last like 2 to 5 minutes now has alluded to the idea that this actually is a suitable low. I am actually pretty comfortable saying that that is the low for BCH BTC. That doesn't mean we can't go down from here again. And perhaps we do. Perhaps all we do is, we go down to like the 886 and we find support. Perhaps we go down to the 100 or near that and we find support. I don't know. Hard to say. I've got a pretzel in my head, man. I got a pretzel in my head, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, this might be a rare call where I'm calling for the BCH BTC low to be in, but I'm calling for both Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash to go lower than their relative US dollar lows. All that would imply is that Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin go down. Bitcoin Cash just doesn't go down as hard as Bitcoin. If it did, why do I keep doing this? Bringing up I've got it over here. Why do I keep flipping back and forth? If it did go lower, right? Like if we saw that next step down, which would be the 886, that 13% drop, man. I'm gonna pull up another one here so we can have Bitcoin on there. Let's just do this real quick. I just did a Bitcoin video, but for all intents and purposes, to just show you guys what I'm looking at, right? Looking at the daily here. I think that this is going to move into the oversold zone again. I do think that we're going to see the deep extensions of this move, right? The 1886 to the 2272 area. I think that's where we're going to go. And I think we'll see the expected extensions of this move from the low to high, the 1272 to the 1618, which is at about 48.6K. Oops. Maybe we even go all the way down to the 1886. It's possible. But that 1618 does line up pretty well with the resistance points here. I actually do favor that 48 to 49K area. Got your 1886 right there as well on this relatively small fib scale. That would be about a 15% drop. And I think Bitcoin's going to drop 14 to 18% somewhere in there. So that fits 14 or 15.43. If Bitcoin drops 15.43 and Bitcoin Cash were to drop that same amount, 14 or 15.43, I'm sorry, somewhere right there, that'd be a bit of a double bottom on its daily. And then this would actually remain neutral, right? But if it goes down even a little bit, and actually if it goes down 13%, 13% would add on another 13% there, so that'd be 28% down. Which I already did this, man. That'd be down at 240. I would actually think that we'd go lower than that. That would mean that we would drop all the way. I just don't see that happening. That to me does not make sense. Just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean that it wouldn't happen, but that to me does not make sense. I really think the most that we would drop from the current price is 23%. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm losing it with that last little bit there. But all I'm trying to say is I do believe Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are going to move down, right? I think most of the market's going to move down together. I'm just having a hard time admitting this, but I think that we found our low versus BTC. I can't seem to come up with any good reasons that would suggest that we would go lower. It wouldn't make sense to me. Okay, here's the only way that we could go lower, in my opinion, if this isn't the low, is if Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash move up together and then Bitcoin moves up more. That's the only way, right? Maybe they move down together in unison and it doesn't go lower than this, but then whenever Bitcoin starts to move up, perhaps Bitcoin Cash doesn't move up as fast, and then that could happen. That's the only kind of logic that I could derive from that. But I don't know, man. Either way, guys, trailed off a little bit at the end there. 618, rejecting the 0.5. Hopefully it stops at the 6.9 at around like 260, right? What is that? 259, 260, somewhere around there. And if it does, that's the low, guys. We're done. We're moving up. I got nothing else to say. So hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content. That's all I got. So take care. Bye-bye.